Hey, what's up everybody out the YouTube land? Elric Ferris, Editor-in-Chief, here once again on the Motherboards.org YouTube channel. The other day, we brought you an unboxing of one of XFX's latest products. This is their PRO650W Easy Rail Technology power supply. Now, this thing is Bronze Plus certified, which means that it's certified at a level that you can guarantee this power supply is going to keep working for a certain amount of time and that it meets a certain guideline as far as how well that it works. Now, we talked about this before. There are many people out there who go out and they buy this very expensive testing machine to test this out just to get the same results that you can get from a website that we'll show you in the video with a link to check this out. So basically anybody who has a power supply that's either certified either gold, bronze, silver, 80 plus, it has a website that you can go to, and if that website has this power supply listed, it means it was tested by this company, fully by them, endorsed by them, and maintains that it will run at those standards. Now, a 650 watt power supply will power mostly up to a 5870 probably Crossfire system and maybe a 450 SLI system. You're not going to be able to power any of the real high-end systems at all with that whatsoever. You're going to have to buy either a 750 or 850 watt if you want to use any of the 6 series or higher end 5 series cards from them. Now, as far as CPU goes, you can probably get away with the 650. That any CPU you want to use out there will be just fine. As long as your system is not overloaded with a whole lot of components, 650 watts is quite a bit of flexibility. So I'm going to take you guys in my lab. I'm going to show you guys the power supply in action on our test system. I'm going to shoot it with a heat gun and show you guys what its delta ambient temperature in the room is. And then we'll just do a little closing video on the power supply. So let's check this out. Okay, so we've moved over now into my test lab. And today we're looking at the PRO650W power supply from our friends at XFX. Now, this is part of their core series power supplies. It features Easy Rail, which is single rail technology. There's multi-rail and single rail technology. Multi-rail means the power is coming from different ways to power your stuff, and with single rail technology, it's one solid constant rail. Now, there's been a lot of diversity over which one of these is better. I prefer single rail technology. Now, one of the things this power supply is made with really good Japanese parts, and it's also manufactured by Seasonic for the people at XFX. Now, Seasonic is worldly renowned for making high quality power supplies. So when you're getting a power supply from these guys, you're getting Seasonic plus the XFX warranty and XFX customer service stuff about the power supply. So we're going to show you a few screens after this that are basically just the spec by spec stuff. But right now I have the power supply running on my Sandy Bridge test station right now. And the room temperature in here right now, by the way, I'm using my little X-Tech iRed thermometer thing here. I'll show you guys this right here. And I'm using it. I'm getting an ambient room temperature. I'm just aiming against the wall. And the ambient room temperature in here is about 80 degrees. Now, I know this isn't rocket scientist, so anybody who's going to come in here and make some crazy comment about totally not accurate, I know it's not totally accurate. I've explained this to people before, but people still want to see it. So the ambient temperature of my room is about 80 to 81 degrees. And then I'm going to move it down and I'm going to bring it on to the power supply. Now, this is under full load right now, and it's running at about 86 Fahrenheit. So it's running about 4 or 5 degrees under full load over your ambient room temperature. Now, that's not very hot. Now, I know that when you put this thing inside of your case, it might run a little bit warmer because it'll be an enclosed area, but as long as you have good airflow and you're in a room that's not too hot, it should stay about 5 to 6 degrees above ambient temperature, maybe a little bit more depending on your room. But it's not running very hot at all. It's also not very loud. Like, right now, there's actually 2 or 3 computers running in this room in my test lab. Jumping into the test station, for those of you who are curious, this right now is a 650 watt XFX power supply right now. This is the power behind the system that we're powering. We've got an ECS H series motherboard. This is one of the new motherboards for the Sandy Bridge release. We have a 2600K on there. We're using a standard Intel cooling solution that comes with it. I've got new Kingston HyperX memory. This is 4 gigabytes of Kingston HyperX 2133 megahertz memory. Then we're moving down here. We have 2 SSD drives from our friends at AData. These are 2 of their 80 gig drives in a 160 gigabyte RAID 0 mode. Running off the standard SATA controllers on the board. We're not using the 6 gigabit, we're using the standard 3 gigabit because that's these hard drive support. DVD player, just, you know, normal type of thing you can get anywhere for 17 to 18 bucks. Okay, so we've shown you the features of the power supply. we've seen the power supply in action on our test station. Now, there is a place called Plug Load Solutions. This is a website that you can go on to, and any power supply that says that it's 80 bronze, silver, or gold certified should be listed on this website. Now, we went and we looked this power supply up, and it is listed on this website. So if you get this power supply right now, you can get this power supply for $89 anywhere online with a $20 rebate. So basically, you get a 650 watt power supply with XFX's warranty for $69. Like I said before, this will power up to two 5870 cards in Crossfire or two 450, possibly 460 cards in SLI. So overall for your money, you get a pretty decent power supply for your money. You can power most systems that are out there, and the only thing that you're really not going to be able to do is run into the higher end SLI or Crossfire systems. So at the end of the day, the power supply, there is one thing I gotta say. Some of you users mentioned to me in this stuff that you thought the cables were too short for big power supplies, for big large towers. You actually are correct in that. If I was gonna say anything about this power supply that was negative, is that the wires could be a little bit longer, because if you use a really tall full tower case, they do feel pretty stretched out. Now, I didn't really put this thing in a case. When I do a review, I'll actually show this power supply in there and go over that again. But, sorry, I got a frog in my throat here. But that's the only thing about this power supply that I would give a negative hit on. Beyond that, it runs very quiet. It's $69. It'll power any AMD or Intel system up to pretty much the entry-level SLI or Crossfire systems. It's available online, and it gets a great warranty. At the end of the day, I gotta say this power supply for $69 is an editor's choice product here on Motherboards.org. Thanks for putting up with us.